First of all, I'd like to begin today with a brief story that I'm sure most students nowadays have encountered at least once in their academic journey. Just imagine, you are sitting in a classroom, the teacher is explaining a very important concept that he said will be coming up in an upcoming exam. Minutes and minutes go by, but the concept is just not clicking for you. You want to ask the teacher, "Sir, can you please slow down a little bit? Teach it back to me, maybe rewind a little bit." But you are afraid that it might disrupt the flow of the lesson. And in the end, everyone but you understand the concept. I have found myself in this situation more times than I've wanted to. And as bad as this is, I know for a fact that I am not alone. Nowadays, students all around the globe rely on the conveniency of AI, mistaking quick answers for real learning, which poses a significant threat for future generations. We are leaning on it so heavily that if one day, if it just vanishes, we would feel stuck. The thing is, this doesn't just happen suddenly. It escalates slowly with one short prompt at a time that you put into an AI. You might be asking, really, what does the overdependency on AI actually look like? And I must tell you, it isn't as dramatic as you might think it is. It is as simple and equally scary as the small changes in how we think. Nowadays, we search for answers even before attempting questions. We wait for AI tools to confirm if we're correct or incorrect for a problem. And we copy down explanations instead of processing them and mistake it for actual learning. Studies have shown that the over-reliance on AI weakens our problem-solving skills and critical thinking skills, which are the most two important skills in education. Search engines give us instant answers, but the speed that it gives us that answers makes it understand it on our surface level instead of actually grasping the concept for its actual reasonings. There's also been statistics about our overdependency on AI, and the disadvantages that it gives us are quite damning. Our over-reliance on AI weakens our independent thinking skills. Questions that they give you. You always search up for answers, and you always memorize the answer to it instead of analyzing the piece of information that you're actually given, which is not really learning. It reduces our creativity. When you give an AI prompt a question that you're struggling on, it will give you pre-packaged solutions with everything that it might think of. But it doesn't actually make you think about the question. It just gives you automated answers. Our problem-solving skills weakens. A lot of students nowadays struggle to handle tasks without the assist of AI. And even in some instances, traditional skills such as handwriting, manual math, or even focused reading are declining. A survey from students globally shows that a damning 86% of students regularly use AI in their studies, with 66% of it being, you might have guessed it, ChatGPT. And within those usage, the most common are for researching, checking grammar, paraphrasing paragraphs, summarizing documents, or even making up a first draft. When 70% of students opt out for actual doing the work ourselves and instead going for using AI, we ought to ask ourselves, is this learning or is this just retrieving information from our memory? Tasks that are as simple as summarizing a small piece of text are now instead being uploaded into a chat box, and automated answers will be provided within seconds. we lose the ability to struggle effectively. And as you might know already, struggle is needed for effective growth, and if AI are taking it away from us, where is the room for growth? We stop thinking deeply. If you're always asking an AI tool for a concept that you're not sure on, you will stop building the mental pathway that is critically needed for real understanding. We become passive. Instead of solving the question, you sit and wait for answers. And scarily, we collapse when technology fails. A lot of students nowadays can't function academically. I'm not saying that they're incapable or they lack the knowledge of it, but it is because they just never learned how to operate without the help of AI. With all of that said, I'm not saying that technology is making us worse as learners, but it is actually making us forget how capable we are academically. I'm not here to paint AI as a tool that should be removed entirely to wipe it out from our educational journey. But I'm here to inform you that if it is utilized correctly, it could be very beneficial. It should support our understanding. It could expand our access to more information. It could also give you multiple ways to learn outside of the classroom. Teachers, or friends. It could also manage workload, and even better, personalized learning. Because to be fair, not all teachers explain concepts that you might understand right there in the classroom. And going back home, learning it again with a tool that explains it in another way to you might be more beneficial. The danger of it only surfaces when you see AI not as a tool to help you with your education, but as a replacement. And to combat that, I personally would recommend that every single student all around the globe be thinking, be writing, be solving, even before thinking of putting up your phone and booting up ChatGPT or other AI language models. We should be setting a clear boundary of when to use it and when to leave it out of sight in the classroom. My goal here today isn't to scare you away entirely from utilizing AI for what it's meant to be used, but to make sure that you know how to use it intentionally. Our future of education should not have the constant argument between education should not have technology, or should have technology, or education should be traditionally with teacher and boards and students sitting down listening. But it should instead be a mixture and a partnership between the both. And it is right here. I'd imagine a future where AI enhances our thinking ability instead of replaces it. A future where search engines support our researches, not substitute it entirely like the new AI Google mechanism, and where digital tools strengthens our already pre-existing skills, not weaken them. This is because education to me is not to find answers for every single problem in the world, because that is just physically impossible, but it is to help you think more deeply. The overdependence on AI, it doesn't just take away our skills instantly, but it instead withdraws our ability to learn without a device beside us, just easily enhance graphs, just to open up and search. So if we want to have students who are creative, who are independent, and who are confident in their own minds, we should have a learning culture where AI is treated only as a tool, not as a way that it thinks for us. It is to make sure that it doesn't take over the parts of learning that we actually need to do it ourselves. We learn best when technology helps us, not when it thinks for us. So I want to make sure that you keep that in mind for the next time that you open up ChatGPT or other AI language models to help you with your daily studies. Please do try to use your ability and solve it, and to use your cognitive abilities to its maximum percent. Trust me, it's much more beneficial for you in the long run. Thank you.